Hello Facebook ads people, I'm Konstantinos, and today we're going to discuss of course about the crazy method and how I invented it, but the reason that we do this video is because I want to inspire you and I want you to find your own methods that are going to work better in your ad accounts. The most crucial mistake that I see from people is that they like to follow blueprints. I don't know if they do it because they are bored of finding their own things, because they're not skilled enough or charismatic to find their own methods, or because they're not observing a lot, or because they don't want to, or because they cannot find something for their business. It doesn't matter, okay? So let's discuss a little bit about how I'm finding my own methods, and then let's discuss a little bit about what you should do on your own in order to find your own methods that are going to work better into your ad accounts, because whatever you're going to do, you find it on your own and it's working very well in your ad account. It doesn't mean that necessarily it's going to work for others. So the best thing is to watch everyone around, see what they have to show and the strategies that they're working in other ad accounts. Take all of them and create a Frankenstein method that is going to work very well for your ad account. First of all, we need to clarify that every method is not for every person. It's not only about the way that the method is working, it's about embracing the philosophy behind the method, and also for the method to really work well with your mentality. If you're a person that you're not, for example, super risky, maybe you cannot use a method that somebody is using with high budgets, and maybe you need something which is more affordable to you. Even if it's working in your ad account, still you're going to do mistakes because you're going to be afraid, or it's not within your character to be risky. But someone else who is risky and he likes to take risks or gambles and stuff, maybe he can use another method which is more aggressive, comparing to someone who cannot do it because he's a little bit more reluctant. So the method is not only if it's working or not, it's also if it's tailor-made to your business, but also to your philosophy as a person and if you can follow it. That's the reason that in this channel I'm not just teaching just a method, just go follow this. I'm just saying how it's working, why it's working like this, why we do this. I'm justifying everything because I want you to understand Facebook ads in a deeper level, because I do believe that the best method is the method that you haven't invented for yet maybe, or you have invented for your own ad account and your own business. That's also the reason that when I go in an ad account, I'm not trying to just close all the ads and just run the crazy method because I like it and I have invented it. Of course I'm going to test it, but if it doesn't work there, it's fine. I'm going to test another method and another method, and this is the reason that I have many methods, because it doesn't mean that they work necessarily in all ad accounts. Some of them do, some of them don't. Maybe in some ad accounts all of the methods are working and then we have very good results. But at the end of the day, what you need to understand is that even me, I'm not using these methods necessarily just because it is what it is, but I'm just adapting also in what I see in an ad account, in a business, in the numbers. Believe me, all of these years, I have done a lot of unconventional things. For example, I was working in another account with just one campaign, because when we were doing a lot of campaigns, it wasn't working. So what? I'm against it. I don't like it, but it was working. So I sat up and I was working with just one campaign, adding even creatives while it was optimizing. What am I showing on the channel over here? It's a stimulation. I'm trying to show you things that have worked across several other accounts. I'm not going to show you just the one exception just and present it here as the thing that is killing it right now or whatever. I'm trying to be very careful with my content. But let me tell you that I have done a lot of crazy unconventional things that sadly I cannot show here because I know that they don't apply to the majority of the ad accounts. Last thing before we go to how I invented my own method and how you can invent yours is this. My channel, somebody else's channel, all of us, we are here to share our personal experiences. It doesn't mean that we are necessarily correct. Keep that into your mind. Second thing, it doesn't mean that you have to follow us blindly, like taking a blueprint and just follow it no matter what. It means that you have to watch me, someone else, take your own opinion about things, start testing things, see what is working in your ad account, and then start forming just a formula that is going to work. Maybe you will take the crazy method from me. Maybe you will take the 3-2 method from Charles because it's working. Maybe you will run crazy method with 3-2, for example, with Charles, and it's going to work. It doesn't matter. take whatever you want from each one of us, see what resonates with your mentality in your head, see what you want to follow, just put them all together, start testing them, even by combining things from one or the other, okay? And combining methods and combining ideas and all of that, and then create something that is going to work eventually for you. That's why these channels like mine exist here, in order to stimulate you, not to just give you a blueprint that is going to work for all of your ad accounts or all the businesses. As a business owner, your job is to watch all of us and try to see what is going to work for your business and what is going to bring you the best possible profits. So, how did I invent it crazy method? By pure observation. Let me tell you some key things that happened and how it evolved to becoming the crazy method. First of all, I was watching that when I was running ads, I was getting very good results in the first 24-48 hours. And I was thinking that this is happening because Facebook is boosting my results and all of that. So I started realizing that. And now, after creating the channel, there are so many people that they tell me the same, but I was sure about it because I was seeing it across ad accounts and I have discussed it with several people. So I was thinking that, okay, since it's boosting my results in the first 24-48 hours, what is it going to happen if I put several of these ads and they're being boosted? Okay, because a lot of times the results were declining after that period, and I said, okay, if I boost instead of one ad set, I boost 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 ad sets, which are exactly the same. Some of those should survive if they have better optimization, and this is how the theory about the randomness of the initial results that form hot pockets came. Secondly, I was watching that if I run an ad on Monday, if I run an ad on Tuesday, if I run the same ad on Saturday, if I run the same ad on the other Wednesday, it was having completely different results. It's not that it was having the same results. So I was thinking, I'm a victim of the randomness of the initial results, but also the randomness of a bad day or a good day. So if I was having a good day, I was having the boost of the first 24-48 hours from Facebook, and I was having good results, but I was also having more sales because it was a good day. If I had a bad day, I had the boost, but maybe not so good sales or just a few sales that they were not helping me to continue. So my way of thinking is this: Facebook is doing its job, okay? How can I help it? And the way that I found is that I said, okay, we have the randomness of the initial results and we have the randomness of good or bad results of the day. Because when you launch your ads and your first 24 or 48 hours are very crucial, then you do really understand that in this time window, you have to do your best effort. So what I said is that, okay, instead of one, let me put exactly the same ad several times. And I was believing since that point to the hot pockets, to the randomness of initial results, as I said earlier and stuff. So I said, okay, if I run it like this, maybe I have better chance even in a bad day to have one good, instead of putting all of my money in one ad set and just saying, okay, if it's going to be a bad day, it's a bad day, I will run it again in 2-3 days. No, I said, I want every time to run the ads to have the best possibilities in order to be successful. And the way to do so is that by just doing several ads at the same time, which are exactly the same. So the randomness of the results on this, they're going to help me define which are the good ones that they're going to continue after the third or fourth day based on the results and the sales that they're going to have. And all of this is just to explain to you the journey from going from there to there and there and gradually opening one method. And I'm pretty sure that there are some people that they don't call them crazy method, but they said, this is what worked for me. Okay, and a lot of times you see people say, this is what worked for me. $20 budget, 3 ad sets, for example, different ones, one lookalike, one, it doesn't matter, okay? It's just something that after testing and observation, they have put the pieces together and they have found their own strategy. For me, another thing is that you have seen the video from spending 1.7 million, I don't remember the number. I used to call this 1 million, but then I realized when I did the video again that it was 1.7 million, I forgot it, on shop ads. And this ad was targeting 200 million people or 160 million people, something like that. And the potential reach that we reached with spending all of this money, it was just 20 million people. So I realized the hot pockets over there more. They were making sense to me, that it optimized in a hot pocket and it wasn't going out of that, because it was giving also a frequency of 5 or 6. So that means that either Facebook was lying about the potential reach of the audience, of the broad audience being 160 million, or I was optimizing in a hot pocket and it was targeting around that or expanding a little bit beyond that. So that being said, I said, what if I can create different hot pockets based on that? Because when I put all of my money and I had the luxury of having 1.7 million just in one ad set because it was coming from MetaCredit. And there I realized by just observing that I'm not going to reach all of these people. So when I'm having a good audience and I'm targeting 50 million people and I'm seeing the potential reach, I could see it earlier, to be honest with you. I could see that, okay, I'm having 60 million people, I'm having a very good audience, I'm having 3 ROAS, for example, and I want to scale it. By scaling it, I was watching that, okay, I scale it, but then at some point it's going to die and so on. And I'm losing my ad, I'm starting it all over again. Okay, it's working, but then again, I cannot scale. How can I scale? What if I take this one, duplicate it? I have the theory of hot pockets in my head. So it's going to optimize for different hot pockets in these 60 million people. And at the end of the day, even if I spend this enormous amount of money, I'm never going to reach all of them, or let's say 50% of them. So what I tried is that if I put the same one and it optimizes for different hot pockets, and then I'm having an audience of 100 million people, for example, then that means that I can reach to more and more and more people in this 100 million pool much faster, since my ad set and my targeting is working very well. Of course, the crazy method is not a method that it's all about testing. It's about scaling something. This is why I always tell you that you should not test things with the crazy method. Crazy method is there for you if you have one ad set with one interest, or some creatives that work and stuff, and you want to scale it more, you put it on a crazy method and you run it like this. It's for proven stuff. It's so that you can reach more people in the same potential reach, instead of just staying in the limited potential reach that you have into your one ad and you are trying to scale it, because we have seen the results of having very big spend in just one ad set, targeting a very big audience. It doesn't reach all of the people, it doesn't expand to all of them, it just stays within a specific hot pocket and then it expands a little bit around it. So for me, all of these things, there were things that I was observing, I couldn't prove, and then I had the money eventually, or the opportunities with ad accounts to prove them also. Now, am I delusional? Have I seen something and I was eager to believe it because I was believing this theory before? I don't think so, because I get so many messages from you about the crazy method and how it works, which I don't think that it's by luck. For me, I'm pretty sure convinced now that this is a solid method and all the theory behind it is correct, because it's being proven now by data. I do admit that at the start, when I was doing it on my own and stuff, I couldn't prove it 100%. I would observe that it was working. I would see in my head, in theory, why it was working, but I wasn't able to back it up with data. Now, after all these testings and working with very big ad accounts, and since I'm not a beginner anymore, I can see, because the crazy method has been invented 7 years ago. Okay, it's not something new, it's something that I was using 7 years ago. Is it going to die at some point? Maybe. It doesn't matter though. For 7 years, it has been my best buddy, and I really had some fun with it. So the crazy method is here still. It's working very well, especially with stack lookalikes or broad targeting. Right now it's working really well with several people. I think I got an email recently from a guy that we did consulting. He has a lead generation in a local area, and I told him to use crazy method because for the same reason, to target more people over there and optimize. It's working very well for lead generation in a local area. I have a video also about it. And he told me that he spent something like $150 and he closed deals of 20K, which was crazy. That's the truth about it. And now you know how it went. You know how I did it. So now what you have to do is you have to observe what is working on your ad account, piece out the puzzles together, find your own strategy which is working on your ad account, and don't just try to impose one strategy that's working for Konstantinos or someone else, because not even Konstantinos is doing that, just so you know, okay? Or whoever is an expert. It doesn't mean, unless if they are stupid, they don't use the same strategy everywhere and they just expect it to work. If they have deep knowledge about the algorithm and they do understand and they have a philosophy about it, they're going to adapt and they're going to do other things here and there instead of trying to just make it work with one method. Now, before we close, how did I learn to optimize CBO? Because of the crazy method. By observing again. I was observing what is happening, I was doing a change here, I was doing a change there, and eventually by changing this or that, or lowering the budget, or increasing the budget in a CBO, or closing AdSets and not decreasing the budget in order to find balance. All of these things are things that they have done as mistakes. And this is what you get. You get a full ready tactic on how to optimize CBO campaigns and the crazy method, which is coming from pure observation from actually doing job to ad accounts. The sad truth, guys, is this. You cannot study Facebook ads, Instagram ads, you cannot study them. The only way to learn is by spending money. And you need to trust. Trust is a big word. You need to follow and you need to see people that they have big ad accounts and they spend a lot. When you see this kind of people, they are not there by luck. I have given you this case study where I have spent, I believe it's 1.5 million a year, I don't remember. There are more ad accounts, but of course I cannot just flood my my videos just with case studies. It wouldn't make any sense. This is not a flex channel. This is a channel to inspire you and to help you do better ads. The thing here is this. If you have big ad accounts and you are spending 1 million, 2 million, 3 million per year, 4 million, 5 million, or you are spending $500,000 per month, that I have some ad accounts like this in digital products that they can scale more because of the lower break-even ROAS, I can tell you that it's not happening by luck. It's coming from people that they have spent so much money that by just observing, they do understand what they need to do here and there. And I do hope that all of the things that I'm showing you in this channel, they are coming from a deeper level and someone who is spending a lot of million on the platform, so that you can understand also how you need to behave even if you're spending $100 per day. Because the principles do not change. The only thing that changes is the profitability and the scalability. Other than that, all the things that I'm teaching you in the higher level, they can be applied also in the lower level most of the times. Let's say like 98% of the times. So that's all I had for you. I hope that you liked this video about the journey of Crazy Method and about the things that you need to do in order to find and crack the code for your own ad accounts. And don't forget that if you want to learn more, you can check my book, my course, my website, and until we meet again, guys, be creative and be consistent.